Hey guys, what's up? I am CJ and welcome back to my galaxy. Today we're talking about the Hunger Games again and Sunrise on the Reaping because it's the new novel that we don't have a lot of information about. But what we do know is that there's not only a new novel coming out, but there's also a movie coming out. And lots of people are fan casting for characters we don't even necessarily know are going to be in the novel. Except for Haymitch. Haymitch, I can almost guarantee, since he's the victor of the 50th Hunger Games, even if the novel itself, the plot doesn't revolve heavily on Haymitch, he's definitely going to be in this particular movie and book as well. He's going to be probably going to be at least in the background. So a lot of people are like speculating like who's gonna play Haymitch, and you guys are all very, very wrong. There's one person or a couple of people I agree with, and we'll get to that later in the video, but I wanted to start off with why are you guys fan casting people who are so incredibly old? I've seen so many people who are just like 30 plus. You guys need to calm down. You guys are like wrong. I think, and I don't know who the actor actually is, but I feel like I've heard the name Drew Starkey. Is that who it is? I don't actually recall what the name of the guy is because I did not research before making this video because I just sat down to just film a video just randomly that I didn't really particularly want to edit either. Either way, people are casting actors who are way too old for Haymitch at all. Haymitch is 16 years old at the time of his games when he wins the 50th Hunger Games, and he's like 41 by this 40 by the 74th, 41 by the 75th. I might be wrong there. I'm really bad at math, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. So I think I would dub it the Tom Blythe effect. You know, Tom Blythe, a beloved Coriolanus Snow, not our beloved Coriolanus Snow. Snow. You guys have to stop having the hots for Coriolanus Snow. We're allowed to be attracted to Tom Blythe, not Snow. There is a difference. You guys can't differentiate between actor and character, and we need to set some boundaries. We're gonna need some boundaries with Haymitch as well because he's going to be a 16-year-old, and I know a lot of you are older. I know, like in my mind, Peter and Candace have aged with me. I was 9 when I first read it, but like Haymitch, we're going backwards a little bit. We need to. Coriolanus Snow was 18, so he was legal. But I digress. Tom Blythe was 29 years old when he was in Songbirds and Snakes. Lucy Gray was, how old was Rachel Zegler? 23? I think she's in her early 20s at the time of filming Songbirds and Snakes. And then Sejanus was about 28, 29, about the same age as Tom Blythe. I think he's almost exactly the same age. And then, okay, if we go into the original trilogy, we have, I'm like saying this from the top of my head. Okay, everyone just stand by and let me think for a second. Okay, so Jennifer Lawrence was 22 in the first movie, and then Josh Hutcherson was 19. And then if we get into the tributes, most of them are about the same age as their character that they're playing. So Rue was 12. Manla Stenberg would have been between 12 and 14 because I remember there was behind the scenes videos of the guy who plays Thresh, and I don't know his name, saying that like you're too young to have Instagram because Manla Stenberg texted him saying like, hey tribute buddy. That was that's really cute and adorable, but she was too young to have Instagram. She was like between 12 and 14, which would have been about the same age as Rue. And I know Clove was really young, Kato a teenager, and then if we look at Songbirds and Snakes, they were all about teenagers as well, which makes sense for the characters. And what I'm trying to get at right now is that you guys are casting way too old because Tom Blythe, and you guys want to have just some actor to be attracted to and to see some cute white boy on screen, which, let me point out, this is another thing I've seen for discourse on the Hunger Games, is that, fun fact, they whitewashed the same characters. All the characters are from the same. Gale, Katniss, Haymitch, probably more. Prim, light skin, indigenous. They're all indigenous. And I know there was someone who came into my comment section the other day and actually deleted the comment because it annoyed me. It wasn't particularly racist, but it annoyed me, and they were like, "Ugh, No, she was not whitewashed. Yes, she was. Olive skin and dark hair, to me, describes someone who's not white. You know, especially if you add in the dark hair. Very unlikely. And she has a lot of, Katniss has a lot of, what do you call it? Like codes to say that she's very connected to nature in like the very spiritual, cultural belief way that Indigenous peoples are. And it's very likely that she was whitewashed because this was made in 2012 Hollywood. And we all know that Hollywood still, to this day, has a lot of issues with diversity on all corners, not just with like racial prejudice. So when it comes to Haymitch Abernathy being cast, of course he's going to be white alongside Katniss and Peter because he's a part of like the main ensemble cast. I would call them an ensemble cast. Obviously, Jennifer Lawrence was playing the main character. And I love Jennifer Lawrence as a character in Haymitch. Woody Harrelson, Haymitch could not have been played by anyone else. But if it was made today, it definitely would have been casted differently because they have that, like, Indigenous codes, I guess. You know, they're obviously Indigenous in the books. So it would have been cast differently. So I've been seeing some people saying, and I find it actually kind of funny but also kind of sad at the same time, that people are saying that just cast an Indigenous boy to play Haymitch, and like I want to get on board with it so bad because obviously we would love some diversity, we would love some accurate, biblically accurate Haymitch from the book. I would personally love it, but because, you know, Woody Harrelson was cast, he's white, it would, yeah, it's Hollywood. That's all I have to say. I know that's probably the closest casting that we're gonna get for Haymitch, is that probably brown hair, probably not anyone who is darker skin. I would personally like someone who is, you know, maybe a little bit tan. I think that's what we're gonna get, that's what they could probably get away with. Someone, you know, like Haymitch eventually lost the, what do you call it, melanin in his skin. Is that what it's called? Maybe. I think that they have a melanin in his skin as he grew up. You know, that happens. Cast someone who's a little bit tan. That one, compared to the age gap, is probably more accurate. You know, just cast someone Indigenous. You know, as long as you cast someone who is age appropriate, who is 16 or around about 16, still a teenager. I've seen a couple of people casting Walker Scobell. I know that a lot of people want him as Finnick because, you know, he plays Percy Jackson. You get like the two water associated characters, which I think would pretty cool, but I still think Walker Scobell is just not, you're not allowed to jump around franchises like that. You have to either stick to one franchise, and unfortunately Walker Scobell chose Percy Jackson and he's probably busy filming that anyway, so I don't think we're gonna have hope for him being in the movie. But I also saw, outside of people complaining, I know that some people are on the side of like cast someone older because they think this actor embodies Woody Harrelson as Haymitch, and then other people are on the side of cast someone age appropriate, and then they've kind of combined to create this other category of fan casts where we want like a nobody to be cast. Because in the same way that, I want to say Rachel Zegler was a nobody, but she really wasn't. She was just like a fast and up and coming actor, and I think Tom Blythe was kind of very similar to that he was very up and coming, and so was Jennifer Lawrence, and Josh Hutcherson wasn't. You know, I've seen a lot of people saying that the adults in the cast were the, you know, the star cast, the people who were already known in the industry, which they were, and then like everyone else. I think that was Josh Hutcherson's first like big boy acting job, because he was like 19 and he was no longer a child actor, so that was his first like proper film where he was just like not considered a child actor on set. So they cast like people who weren't necessarily nobodies, but they weren't as well known in Hollywood. They weren't A-list celebrities, weren't like B-list, they were more like, I would say like C-D-list celebrities. And obviously they're amazing actors and we want them to have their big break, and I think it'd be amazing to see Haymitch be played by someone we don't necessarily all know. Maybe he comes from like England, like Tom Blythe, right? Tom Blythe's English, yeah. So we get someone who's English, like Tom Blythe, who's kind of popular in England, but not as popular in the US and Hollywood, or popular overseas somewhere else. You know, Liam Hemsworth was the Hemsworth brothers just in general. I think this was just after Chris Hemsworth was cast as Thor. So the Hemsworth brothers were quite popular over here. They started on Home and Away, Neighbours. They're like the two main shows that Australian actors always start on, either Home and Away or Neighbours. So they were from one of them. And, you know, we could have an Australian actor play Haymitch, just put on a good American accent. Don't have the Liam Hemsworth effect, I swear to God. And if you don't know what that is, I refer to an accent that keeps breaking throughout the film, a Liam Hemsworth effect, because Gale sounds American, but not quite. He's like not quite there. And then I said that Rachel Zegler had the unfortunate circumstance of getting the Liam Hemsworth effect as well. You know, as much as an Appalachian accent was great to have in the film, it kept breaking. And it was very unfortunate. It would have been really good if she didn't break her accent, but she had the Liam Hemsworth effect. So, you know, we cast someone who's age appropriate, 16 years old, and maybe, you know, not very well known. Have I already said that? I got lost in the middle of that sentence. It's so late where I am. It's like almost 10 o'clock. I'm so tired. I've had a day. But anyway, Haymitch needs to not be played by someone who is 30 to 40 years old. I would say 25 is pushing it. Especially if Jennifer Lawrence was 22 and playing a 16-year-old Katniss, you have to go around like a Rachel Zegler, Jennifer Lawrence playing their character's age, just because that's what, you know, it's just, that's appropriate. It's not completely weird. I'm on board with the people arguing with those who are casting really old actors. The only person I would say, and I don't know how old he is the boy who plays, if we're not going for an Indigenous Haymitch, which I'm really sad to say that I don't think we're going to get an Indigenous Haymitch. We're not going to get biblically accurate Haymitch, unfortunately. We could get like a brunette with like slightly tan skin. I'd settle for that. It's unfortunate, but I'd settle for it. But if we get the kid, and he's not a kid anymore, I think he's actually older than me. Like I'm 20, so I think he's like mid-20s. Late 20s. The kid who, I haven't even said his name yet, the kid who plays Carl Gallagher in Shameless, I reckon he could probably pull it off. I don't know if he still acts. I don't know how old he is. If he's older than 30, forget that I said anything, because this is against the point of this video to argue with you guys that we cannot have anyone that's not age appropriate because of, you know, the actors that came before us. You know, they were mostly, except for Tom Blythe and Andreas Rivera, I think that's his name, the guy who played Sejanus. Aside from those characters, everyone else has been pretty age appropriate. I don't know the Carl Gallagher guy and his name, but thinking if we think he's like 25 or under, I reckon he could embody Haymitch. But if he's above that, forget I said anything. I did not. I didn't say anything. I don't know what you guys are talking about. But seriously, though, I think it'd be much better and much more appropriate. Appropriate's not the word I'm going for. It'd be better to see how old the kids actually were going into the games. You know, a lot more sad, and really take the audiences into the world and be like, this is what these like little chubby faced kids looked like. They had their like baby chub still on their faces because they hadn't all gone through puberty yet. So they actually looked like kids. So if we have the audience seeing that they looked like kids, it's more of a reality check that the Capitol should not have been doing that. And that's one of my major topics, arguments. I got there eventually. Arguments that people should not be casting someone who's older because it takes away from the fact that they were kids. Just because you want to post thirst traps on the internet Really, you want to take away the point of the whole novel just because of the thirst traps? Come on, guys. Let's take a break here. Let's think about this. No, we don't want the thirst traps. We want the point of the novel. Probably, right, guys? You're on board with me here. You don't want the thirst traps. Alright guys, so that's the end of today's video. That's basically what I think for a Haymitch's fan cast. Mostly no, kind of yes, and otherwise definitely not. Comment down below who you guys think would best play Haymitch. A 16-year-old Haymitch. If I type into Google anyone and the names you put in my comment section and they come up with above 25, banned off my channel. Not really, but banned. Don't show your face here again. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so I'd greatly appreciate if you guys could subscribe. I am this close. As of right now, I think I am 48 subscribers away from 1,000. So go and subscribe, click the subscribe button, and click the notification bell, because that'd be great. Thanks so much for doing that. Once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, but I've been CJ. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!